Class. This is your fellow student, Joe Maria, and today I have the opportunity to speak to you all about a fire prevention topic according to the Module 3 discussion. And the fire prevention topic I decided to talk about has to do with a fire escape plan in the home. As many of us know, fires do happen at residential occupancies all the time, and it warrants where it takes place at different times of the day. Now, for a layperson, this may be a very traumatic and stressful time. For us who probably get exposed to this, it's something that we work at and that we practice and that we train and drill on. But it's very important for a layperson to understand that there's some principles in basic planning that should take place in order for them to be able to evacuate safely and also to have some precautions in mind whenever dealing with a fire prevention. First of all, there should be a plan instilled in regards to a fire escape plan. It's important for the family to understand that there needs to be a plan made out as far as how to leave the premises of the house and how to have a safe meeting place and how to be accountable for each other. Understanding that if the room is filled with smoke, it's important to get down to your knees to crawl. That way, the smoke, which has not reached to the bottom, is going to give these persons the opportunity to breathe some fresh air. Also understanding that before they go into a room or leave a room, it's important to check the door for heat conditions. If the door is hot, if the knob is hot, do not open the door. Possibilities of the fire being on the other side are great. Also, if there are young children in the house and there are panic bars on the windowsills, it's important to know how to properly and effectively mount them off. That way it would allow them to have a safe escape through a window or for a rescue through the window to be made. It's important also to designate a meeting place. A meeting place could be somewhere in the driveway, maybe a tree in front of the house. It could be maybe the neighbor's front yard, the sidewalk, or even the mailbox. It's important also to teach the children not to be afraid of fire personnel. When the firefighters arrive, they need to understand that they're there to help the situation, not to make things worse. And even though they may be wearing a lot of gear, which may be seen as something scary to young children, they're only there to protect themselves and to protect you from anything else happening. It's also important to understand that in order to prevent fires from happening, we need to be careful as far as when we are cooking to never leave any unattended items. We need to also remember that if a candle is lit, it's important for the candle to be put out before we ever leave the room. It's important to always check for the alarm system to be working accordingly as far as the smoke detectors, for the batteries to be changed out according to manufacturer instructions, but also to be able to learn and understand the layout of the house. Something that we may do on a constant basis is walk up and down the stairs, but when everything is dark and when it's a smoke-filled environment, our senses tend to wander off a bit, and when these people begin to be stressed out, then it's 10 times harder for them to react accordingly. It's also important for the family to know that in case of an emergency, depending how far the fire is at its state, that once the family or the occupants of the house are outside, never to go back in under any circumstances. Nothing inside the house has enough value for someone to risk their lives or even lose their lives trying to obtain it and bring it out. Understanding these bits of principles is very important because, as I mentioned before, everything can be said and done, but when the time arrives, if these things are not implemented and put into place, it can be a very difficult, dangerous situation for the livelihoods of all those who occupy the residence. It's also important to understand that if these plans are made, everyone needs to be on the same page as far as executing them, and they should be practiced several times throughout the year, understanding each of the family's roles in order to have a safe possibility of survival. Thank you, and have a great day.